Hello, welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on Scraplift Crafternoon. This is a weekly hop that I host here on my channel with my Scraplift Crafternoon tribe. There are now 10 of us in this group, and those of us who are participating this week will be linked up in that playlist that I have listed in my description box below. This week we are scraplifting Melissa Miner. This is her beautiful layout that we are scraplifting. She used Vicki Boutin's The Flower Emporium for her layout. It has lots of layers and a little bit of mixed media. It's just super beautiful. I will be using my November Counterfeit Kit Challenge blog kit. I am the lead design team member over there. And this month, Master Forger, that's what we call our design team members at Counterfeit Kit Club. Master Forger Brandy is in charge of the blog this month. So each month we do choose one, or a Master Forger takes over the blog. She chooses her kit, her guest designer, and we use that inspiration kit as a means to curate a kit from our own stash. This is a way for you to use up a lot of your stash items that are just kind of hanging about. So what I pulled here, most of my kit is Simple Vintage Autumn Breeze with another Simple Stories collection, or maybe even two thrown in, plus a couple of other embellishments from like Fancy Pans, All and Create, and Hip Kit. And there's two background pieces of 12 by 12 paper from 49 and Market, Take a Hike, in my kit. Most of what I've pulled out for this layout is Autumn Breeze. This is 49 and Market's enamel dots, enamel pieces. I think they call them wishing baubles. So I think I will need a couple more pieces of patterned paper here, but I've got what I need to start. I have this piece here that was from a previous layout that I did for this. That layout is actually posted on the Counterfeit Kit Challenge blog for challenge number 1. So I gutted it so that I could have another bit of it. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to get started. I'm going to get this mixed media going on here so that I can allow it to dry, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so it looked like to me that Melissa had kind of an arc or a half circle of mixed media on the right-hand side of her page. I'm going to start with the packaging technique, and I'm mixing Wild Honey and Crackling Campfire Distress inks. Kind of just mixing them up just to have a little bit of red-ish tint to that mixed media. I'm not going to put a whole lot of effort in the packaging technique, because what is going to happen is, the middle of that layout from left to right is actually going to be covered. So I don't want to put a whole lot of mixed media there because I'm going to cover it all up. But I'm going to finish my arc with some splatters of the same two inks. I got a little bit more red this time, so that makes me kind of happy. I'm bringing in this, I think this is Diane Wakely, I'm not sure, Dina Wakely. Anyway, it's a glossy gold spray that somebody recommended to me, and I don't believe I've actually used it, or if I have, it's only been once. Puts a lovely gold hue and splatters there. And then I'm bringing one of these old Mr. Huey sprays. These are sprays that I've been trying to use up. This one is Rudolph. These were my favorite back in the day. They're not metallic-y or have any mica in them, and they're very, very saturated, which is what I loved about them. Of course, they are no longer around, so you can't get them, but I still really love them, and I'm working through them. Definitely not tossing them until the bottles are empty. So off camera, I went through my papers and I cut 2 circles because Melissa used the Flower Emporium pattern paper that has the circles on it, and she cut one out and cut it in half and put that on her layout, and that's what I'm going to do here. I will also say that Melissa she matted her background, and I'm not going to mat my background. I'm just going to kind of work with what I have and not going to bring in another 12 by 12 piece of paper at this time. I took that wood grain piece and I cut two 1.5 inch strips for the banner piece. Then I cut down that orange floral pattern because I had got the pattern paper it came from, and so that's what's left over. And then I have this piece here that is also gutted. I don't think I actually used the big leaf piece. I grab my banner punch and I'm gonna go ahead and cut the two ends of the wood grain into banners. And yes, I could have cut a smaller piece of banner for one side of it, but I'm just going to overlap it in the middle. You'll never know unless you watch this video that it's not one full piece. I'm going to take that floral bit, I'm going to have to trim it down a little bit. I think I cut 3/4 of an inch off so that it layers nicely over the banner. And then I'm going to take these scraps that I had from the 6x8 paper pad and I'm going to layer those up here as well. I know that one of the half circles is going to go up here at the top by where my photos end up, and the other is going to go down here in that bottom left hand corner, just like Melissa's. Now Melissa put journaling down in that lower circle, and I'm not going to do that. First I'm going to go ahead and trim down my photos. I have two 4x3s and one 3x4. The 3x4 I'm going to cut into a 3-inch square. My photos are slightly larger than hers, and she single matted them with hers with white paper, and I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to trim them down just a tad so that they don't overlap my white background and hang off the page when I get them matted. I have, of course, a scrap of white paper that I'm going to use to cut a 3¼ inch. This is what I'm going to start with. It's 3¼ of an inch, and then I'm going to trim it off as I work because I didn't want to sit there and try to guesstimate what size those photos were trimmed down, and I most certainly didn't check as I was trimming them. So I'm just going to cut two 3¼ strips out of that scrap of white paper, and that'll use up quite a bit of that white paper. I have a little bit left. I can't remember if I saved it or not. They're kind of small pieces, so probably not. Now I'm just getting all 3 of these photos nicely matted, and then I'm going to start building the rest of the layout here. Of course, these are photos of my Jasper kitty. He is now 9 years old. These were taken around Thanksgiving time frame in 2017 when he was 2. He was 1. Almost 2. He turned 2 in April of 2018. Using my trusty magnets for my glass board studio magnet board. Love this thing. And you need to pay really close attention because coming soon is another launch day for another new product, and I will have information about that on Tuesday for you to view. It'll either be here or on Instagram. I'm a little up in the air yet because I haven't received my free product yet, and I'm leaving town here very shortly. I am recording this video really early because in case you didn't know it, my grandmother died and we're traveling back to our home state to go to her funeral the week of the 15th. Her funeral's the 15th, so, and this airs the 16th. So I've got my title, says Grateful. This is a lovely set of titles and bits and pieces here. I really like this collection. I did not need another fall collection when Simple Stories brought this out, but I love fall collections, so I did buy another one. I added a 3rd half circle on my lower left hand side. That is from Freckled Fawn. It is chipboard, and then there's a Freckled Fawn arrow that's going to be pointing towards my title, and then a banner that says "Makes Me So Happy." They all came from the same Freckled Fawn chipboard set, and they are in my counterfeit kit. I'm kind of going through all of this ephemera looking for leaves. To be honest with you, I thought there would be more leaves in this pack, and I didn't want to go digging through the packs to find another leaf. I think one of the other ephemera packs also has leaves, so I just pulled in the chipboard piece, and that kind of finishes off the arc that I'm making. And I'm going to add a whole bunch of these chipboard hearts on here. I think I used pretty close to all of them on this layout. It's a great way to, you know, draw your attention to the falling leaves on that one side. I'm very happy with the way that this layout turned out. I was kind of worried that mine wasn't going to work because she used beautiful butterflies, and I'm not using butterflies on this layout. I'm using leaves, but I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. All right, I'm quite happy with the way that this turned out. I was really worried that it wouldn't look as nice as hers, but I'm really thrilled. I did move my journaling up from that bottom left-hand circle on the bottom because I put a piece of chipboard there instead. I added that arrow there next to my title. Her title was much larger. She used some color cast design titles as well, and then of course I also added another chipboard piece up there at the top above my row of photos. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you are new here, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Just click that button below. If you have any comments or questions about this layout or anything that I've done on this layout, drop those below and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.